Welcome back, listeners, to The Mindful Journey. I'm your host, Sana, as always, and today I want to start this podcast with a very simple question. When was the last time you were fully present? No notifications, no tabs open in your brain, just you and your breath. Now, here's the twist, listeners. We are having that conversation in a world where AI, it sits in our pockets, in our workplaces, in our homes. Now, some people see AI as a threat to presence. Others see it as a tool that could actually deepen awareness if we use it with intention. So, on this episode of The Mindful Journey, we are not here to hype AI or to fear it. We are here to get honest about how it intersects with mindfulness. What does it do to our nervous system, our focus, our humanity? So, to do that, we have someone who lives at that exact intersection, listeners. My guest today, Stephanie Sylvestre. She's a founder, an AI innovator, a relentless believer in the power of the human mind. She has led big shifts in corporate America, built an AI company, created access to digital mentors for underrepresented youth. In short, she's not just talking about the future, she's actively architecturing it. So what I love about Stephanie's work, listeners, is it's never just about the tech. It is about resilience, creativity, critical thinking, and how we stay human in the middle of all this rapid change. So if you are listening on a commute, on a walk, or taking a quiet moment in a busy season, exactly, because many of us now are or are, have already moved into the holiday season and we're trying to protect our peace. This conversation is for you. So Stephanie, welcome to the Mindful Journey, and yeah, let's begin our conversation.
Thank you for having me.
You live right at this crossroad of AI and human development. So from when you think about mindfulness in the age of AI, what is the first tension or opportunity that comes to mind? Like, is AI a distraction from presence, or can it actually support the mindful journey?
I believe that AI can support the mindful journey. And 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 whenever people say something is a distraction, I like to pause and understand why.
Hmm.
Because um not having any electronics is also a distraction, one could argue. I think it's how you utilize whatever it is. So, um I'll tell you why I see AI contributing to mindfulness.
Hmm.
Um, I have a bunch of problems that I'm trying to resolve. And I sat down last night, and in a matter of minutes, I was able to complete some task because I was using some AI powered solution that would normally have taken me about a half a day. I could do in about would say it took me about uh half an hour, 45 minutes. And
Hmm.
what what ended up happening is that it created a space for me to not be anxious. It created the space for me to just be there, lean in, talk to my cousin, talk to my friends. And and so when you're thinking about being mindful and in a mindfulness space, because I know that my task can be completed in a quicker period of time, I'm more comfortable taking the time to spend time with friends and family, um, be in the moment, disconnect from my phone because I know that when I come back, even if there's work to be done, I can get it done quicker. So that's one way. Um, the second way is what what AI can help me do is be a little bit more reflective. It can, as I put something in and it comes back really quickly, I can now spend time thinking, is this really what I want to say? Is this how I want to be, the message I want to communicate out? Um, and by doing that, I'm able to I'm able to be more intentional with my message. I can edit it a little bit more because I have AI helping me write. And it just creates a whole different energy. And I think that those two things are the foundation. And with anything that you do too much, even if you meditate too much, that becomes a problem as well,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So if you were to go on a silent retreat, you don't get to you meditate multiple times a day, but you still take breaks. It's not one long meditation for 7 days or 5 days or whatever. And so you have to think about it the same way. How do you use AI in moderation to amplify you as a human and create more space so that you are using that additional space and that additional time to connect with other humans, connect with nature, be intentional, and be present?
Stephanie, I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense then, because it is it is pragmatic, it's realistic. I think the one keyword here is moderation. And it's a kind of conundrum that we all almost face with social media as well. A person who is using or leveraging social media all the day, all the time, and it's completely getting you kind of lost into it. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there is a person who is not even there on social media. So I think the key word here is moderation. And yes, sometimes AI can be such a kind of a lifesaver for us in structuring, planning, giving us that intangible emotional feeling of a relief that yes, I don't have to devote hours and hours of my day into doing this work or getting this work done, whether it's on the professional or personal end as well. But at the same time, also, there has to be moderation in terms of, how we are using AI, especially when it comes to mindfulness.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know that AI allows you to have a mindfulness practice, especially if you are remote from where other people are. You might need to have, you might not be able to have a guide. And so being able to get access to meditation that can help walk you through, it's a little bit more real time. And I think there's some things about doing that. But again, right, you don't want the AI to bleed into your meditation practice where you can't do your practice without the AI.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so Stephanie, moving on, and of course, it's not about romanticizing tech. Um, so you also mentioned intention and design. So if you can walk us through, let's say a concrete example, maybe a moment or maybe like a scenario from your own work, like where AI clearly helped someone become aware, more aware or reflective instead of more scattered.
Huh. um, so what I've seen with AI is for low resource communities with
Mhm.
people who may not have um quite a number of quite a number of resource and information and maybe not the best education,
Mhm.
but are brilliant in their own right. I've seen that AI can give their give voice power to their voice,
Mhm.
because what AI does is it allows them to do stream of consciousness speaking. It allows them to have a jumbling of ideas. And and so they just put the jumbling of ideas into the AI.
Mhm.
And what the AI does is it comes out and it it organizes their thoughts in ways that are systematic. And when somebody sees your thoughts or hears their thoughts being reflected back to them in an organized, systematic way, that builds a level of confidence that that is like hard to like quantify, but it builds a level of confidence that makes them feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
And as people start feeling good about themselves, their self agency increases, their ability to think and believe that they can make a difference in their lives, they have control over their lives, and that they can make a difference in the community grows exponentially. And we know that people with high self agency are the ones that actually are able to make a difference in this world, because you have to believe that you can make a difference.
Mhm.
And then once you believe that, then you can then take action to reinforce that belief. And for a large population, a large portion of this world,
Mm.
people were that are not properly educated can't express themselves in the traditional way of it must be written. If it's not written, it does not exist.
Mhm.
And so their ideas just die and wither with them. But
Mhm.
now they have AI to help give voice to that idea.
Yes.
And as they're moving through the world and they're sharing their ideas based on how the AI has reformatted it for them, what's happening is they're you're seeing them stand a little bit taller. It seems a little increased self assurance, and because of that, they're able to feel in command of their life. And so my hope is that more and more people embrace AI, and that we have this I don't want to say revolution, but this mass evolution where
Mhm.
people are feeling that they're capable. What does the world look like when people are walking around feeling capable? What does the world look like when people walk around believing that they can make a change? What does the world look like when people are being the change that they want to see? I mean, the opportunities are limitless. My
Mhm.
brain can't even comprehend what possibilities are there. But I know enough to know that there's possibilities are beyond belief. And and I think that that then leads to a new world order. And that new world order really starts to address some of the social challenges of the world. And as you address social challenges of the world, because the people most impacted by it are part of resolving it, it just takes on a whole new light.
I think that's a very interesting way to look at it. Very interesting way to look at it, Stephanie. And I also believe, yes, um, you know, especially for the ones who wouldn't have had a voice to be heard or to be seen. I think it is definitely an enabler of empowerment. Um, and inclusion as well. And Stephanie, with that, I think this is such a beautiful part of your work. I mean, you are building AI that preserves Black history through digital twins. um, Now when we look at mindfulness, it is often talked about as an individual practice, like breath or like meditation, body or awareness. But your work, it also highlights memory, lineage, and community. So, how do you see AI and mindfulness interacting when it comes to our cultural identity or and collective healing as well?
So sometimes I look at some of the mindfulness practice,
Mm.
and I wonder, as it's evolving, is it also becoming inaccessible to the masses?
Mm.
I mean, can somebody that makes an hourly wage take off 7 days to go and do a 7 day silent retreat?
Mm.
Is that really an accessible thing? But
Mm.
it's something that's really important. Um, and so then the question becomes, what if you were able to do practice mindfulness on a almost minute by minute basis, right? And again, that takes years and years and years of training. But what if we were to think about this differently? So just co-dream with me for a second.
Mm.
Imagine that we have the ability to digitize your personality. So your personality is different from my personality.
Yeah.
We digitize your personality, and then we imprint that personality on a chip, and then we add mindfulness practice
Mm.
onto the chip, and then we baseline your biometrics. So what's when you're at equilibrium, what does your pulse look like? What does your heart rate look like? What does your blood pressure look like? What brain activities are you having? So now you can put on this chip your personality,
Mm.
mindfulness techniques, and your biometrics. And that chip is now run by AI and is monitoring your biometrics. And whenever you are out of equilibrium, the AI stops and says, "Hey, Sana, you're good."
Mm.
And first of all, if this simple act of saying, "Hey, Sana, you're good," instantly causes your brain to reset.
Yeah.
And then from there, you can continue evolving. And as you continue to evolve, the AI, excuse me, the AI can walk you through mindful techniques so you can go back to equilibrium.
Mm.
We know that people excel most when they're at equilibrium.
Yep.
And so rather than having to go off for 7 days in a silent retreat to regain equilibrium, to wash out the toxicity of the world, the self-doubt, the self the negative self-thoughts, what is as you're going through your day-to-day life,
Mm.
you're doing that over and over and over, and you have this help so that you never forget to do it. What does that now do for your mindfulness practice? Does that not make mindfulness more accessible because you're doing it on a minute by minute basis? So that's one way you're using AI. The second way you're using AI is to give voice to your ideas. And the third way you're using AI is for you to learn to upskill yourself so you can get higher paying jobs. So you put all of those three different uses of AI together, what you end up with is you end up with AI that amplifies you. And AI that amplifies human beings makes us all better. So now you have time for your mindfulness practice, you have time for your family, you have time for your friends, you have time.
Hmm. Well, once again, I mean, it's a very powerful way to look at it, because it's not just um, the tech preserving data or the legacy. It is also, as you mentioned, it is preserving dignity, nuance, and also context. Um, and At the same time, Stephanie, I mean, it's quite a bit of an uncomfortable edge that, I'm kind of, trying to understand here, that there's a fear that um, we would use AI for mindfulness shortcuts, quick insights, quick reflections, guided scripts. Uh, so without ever learning to sit with ourselves. So, from your perspective, where we need to draw that line between AI supporting reflection and AI enabling avoidance.
Yes, absolutely. You absolutely need to be careful of that.
Mm,
Um, and I believe that when solutions are properly designed,
mm,
people most people will use it as intended. We'll always have people that figure out how to try and game the system.
mm,
Um, and I argue that those people are not like that's not how you would want to how you don't want to design a solution for them or to track from ensure that they don't do the things that they're going to do anyway.
mhm,
It's more about how can we help people. And so like if you're really leaning into mindfulness, you really believe it, you're seeing the value. You're not going to try and shortcut it because the moment you start to shortcut it, you're not going to see the same value.
mm.
And if you're using mindfulness and AI in the right combination, you'll have enough time that you won't have a need to shortcut anything.
Mm,
So it's kind of like the same when I tell a teacher tells me I don't want my students using AI because they're going to cheat. And I
mm,
said, to me, that's a reflection on your teaching abilities because if you are a really great teacher and you get people excited about learning and you develop their intellectual curiosity, they will not cheat because they want to make you proud. They want to show you how much they're learning, how much knowledge you're gaining. So they're
mm.
not going to cheat. And so one could ask if you think that somebody's going to cheat, because then the question becomes, are you really doing what you're supposed to do as a teacher, which is developing a love of learning and mindful um, and intellectual curiosity?
And I think, teachers can also kind of, um, um, exhibit that, yeah, let me not dismiss that AI is a great tool, whether it's for cheating or for gaining more and more knowledge or doing research. Even I can also use it to, um, get your whole syllabus or course done in a shorter time. But then what is the fun of teaching, and what is the fun of, knowing, getting the knowledge? So let's all embrace AI. Then I think it wouldn't be like a, uh, you know, uh, you know, kind of an tool for just doing the things on in the backdrop. Everybody can actually embrace it.
Us, absolutely. That's exactly where I would hope that people would would be. Did I, did I do? Did I?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, Stephanie, before we wrap up, so if listeners, who are now curious to explore more about this, how they can connect with you, if they would like to share their thoughts and opinions about this, how they can connect with you.
You can connect with me, Stephanie at avatarbuddy.ai, or LinkedIn, Stephanie Sylvestre, Avatar Buddy. Very easy to find.
Wonderful. And to make it more easier for all of your listeners, I'm going to have all the links in the show notes. So just hover up to them along with this episode on your favorite podcast platform. And if, what I feel, if you take one thing away from today, let it be this. AI is not automatically mindful or mindless. I believe it's a mirror because it amplifies the quality of our attention, our values, and our choices. So, the real practice, listener, is still inside you, in your breath, in your boundaries, and your ability to pause before you react. So, Stephanie, thank you so much because this has been such a practical and clarifying conversation. You have taken something that can feel abstract and overwhelming and brought it back to what really, really matters. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, listeners, as we move through this season, whatever it looks like for you, I hope you find pockets of quiet, a walk without your phone, a moment of gratitude, a deeper conversation with someone you love, small acts of presence in a loud world. So, thank you to everyone for tuning into this episode of The Mindful Journey. Take care of your mind, take care of your community, and we will meet you in the next episode. Until next time, this is your host, Sana, signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.